Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Inner Map streaming. The question that I've received for this week is a very deep question, and that is, how do I forgive myself the way I forgive others? So I'm going to just address the first part because from what I'm going to say, I am not sure if the forgiveness for others have fully and truly and deeply have taken place if this element is not there or was not there. The most important part of forgiveness is really our understanding and our belief around the consciousness of ourselves and human beings in general. When we realize that we are forever evolving beings, meaning our consciousness is constantly changing, hopefully for the better, hopefully we're moving forward, but it's always changing. So when I sit here in this present moment and I tell you that I made a mistake 4 years ago, or when I was 12, or a minute ago, I'm assuming that I was really doing what I was doing with the same consciousness that I'm holding right now, which is not true. And how do I know it's not true? The fact that you're feeling bad about it, that means this consciousness that you're holding that memory with is much higher than that consciousness. So in a way, we're understanding that our consciousness, just like our bodies, are moving and growing and moving forward. So the same way I cannot tell you that, oh, I'm feeling so bad. When I was 10 years old, I did this and that. I do remember that I was smaller. And consciousness is the same thing. My consciousness was smaller when I did that harm, or that took that action, or said that word, or whatever it was that you have done. Understanding that is extremely important. It doesn't mean that we do not acknowledge that what we did was harmful. It's not like we're covering it up or just hopping over that. No, we are acknowledging, we're saying what I did. And actually, that's the first step of forgiveness, because I always feel that forgiveness is an action that is supported by a belief. The belief is that my consciousness is forever moving, and it's not a stable consciousness. So when I do things that are harmful to self and others, that means I am holding my life and my awareness in a much lower consciousness. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to harm others or myself. The action part of forgiveness is really the acknowledgement of it, that I really acknowledge what I did was harmful. And it doesn't mean that I blame. It just means I acknowledge. I did A, B, C, D, and they were harmful actions, words, energies, whatever the case might have been. The second part of the action part of forgiveness is really apologizing in a very deep way. Do I mean that you should call everybody and tell them that you're apologizing? No, sometimes it's not appropriate or feasible or even advisable to do that. You know your circumstances, and I'm not going to advise you in that area. But just energetically, just writing it down and saying, I am so sorry, please forgive me. There's a beautiful prayer, Ho'oponopono. I'm sure you've heard about that. If you haven't, please check it out. Ho'oponopono. It's a Hawaiian prayer that actually encourages us to say these 4 lines when we come across any atrocity, whether we have done it or other people have done it, whether it's very small, energetic by just words, or it's something really big that has happened historically to nations. And those are the words, and these are the words. I am sorry, even though I haven't done it. I'm sorry for what has happened. 2, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Why forgive me? I had nothing to do with that. Yes, we did. Energetically, we are so interconnected in this world that somehow, something, me, my ancestors, my energy had something to contribute towards that unfairness or that harmful action. So I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I'm holding you with love. And I thank you for bringing this matter to my awareness so I can be conscious of what I'm doing. So maybe saying those words, writing those words, truly apologizing and clearing that aspect of it. The third aspect of action part of forgiveness is actually the most important one. And that is to make sure that you have learned your lessons and you will never, ever repeat what you did that was harmful in the past, in the present moment that is yet to come or is here right now. Because sometimes we only look at these things from tribal point of view. So I will be kind to my people, but I will repeat that towards somebody else. And that's the very important aspect of forgiveness, that I will write it down, that I will never ever, as long as I am aware, do and repeat that harmful action toward anybody, no matter who they are and what they are. It's not because of them that I'm not going to repeat it. It's because of the consciousness that I'm aware of that I will not do it ever again. And after saying all of these things, you may still make mistakes and slip. And that's where self-compassion comes to play and comes to support you. Because sometimes we just mess up more than once. And we need to be aware of that. And every time we attend to it with a little bit more awareness and a little bit more compassion. So in short, 1, understand that we are forever evolving consciousness beings. Then you take actions by acknowledging, by apologizing, and by acting differently from that point of awareness onwards. I hope that this is helpful. What might help you is also the guided meditation that we have about wisdom. Imagine that a wise, compassionate person is holding the space for you and you are going through these steps that I told you about. It might be helpful to do, to get a bit of help and listen to that guided meditation while going through this. I hope that it was helpful, and I hope that we hear from you when you make a movement. These are stories, mindful stories in the making. When you do make a difference, when you, in the world that you live and in your consciousness, when you do take an action that is with a higher consciousness, kinder consciousness, compassionate kind of energy, please let us know and give us your stories so that we can inspire others with what has happened for you and with you. Until the next time, stay curious and be well.